What's up, guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Void Horror Podcast. My name is Alex, and today we are going to be doing our June haul for all the movies that we picked up on the cheap. Usually I buy these things on discount, but we're going to go through them today and kind of talk about what I got. Maybe there'll be something in it that you will like and you might want to pick up for yourself. So let's dive into it. All right, guys, so we got a bunch of stuff. Now, keep in mind, I like to do this because I enjoy talking about movies, and maybe I can help you find something that you would like, that you might be able to pick up too on the cheap. Most of the movies that we buy, we usually get on discount, but occasionally we do buy them just because we want them. So, without further ado, first up, Shark Attack 3-pack. We got Sharkenstein, Raiders of the Lost Shark, and Shark Exorcist. I mean, you can't go wrong with these classic... I know that Sharkenstein is actually one of the Mark Polania who directed that. I don't know that these are with his production team or not. The other ones, Raiders of the Lost Shark and Shark Exorcist, I have no idea what to expect, but I can expect them to be pretty bad, and that's why we bought them. We got this at the 99-cent store for $1, so... Up next, a Blu-ray of Kill Katie Malone. Never heard of it. No idea. Never buy a demon on the internet, it says. So we're talking classic. But yeah, it's a Blu-ray. We got it at the 99-cent store. The next few are going to be from the 99-cent store. So maybe you'll be able to find it at yours. But I've never heard of this. It says college students and best friends, Ginger Matheson, Jim Duncan, and Kyle, pool their cash to buy a ghost in an online auction. The three think it's an all-out prank, but once they open up the antique box to examine their treasure, they unleash the vengeful spirit of a servant girl who has been wreaking havoc on her owners throughout the generations. Do you guys seen this movie? Let me know in the comments down below. Up next, we got Dark Shadows, the Johnny Depp reboot, I guess, sort of movie that's kind of like a comedy, which Christina enjoys the original show and this as well, so I think this is a good buy for $1. We got this at the 99-cent store. It's a modern take on TV show called Dark Shadows, which did get pretty ridiculous there for a little while later on in the series, but I have not gone back down that hole. I don't think I've ever watched all of the TV series. I've seen a few. So, but this is pretty fun. If you're into comedies and you like Johnny Depp especially, maybe this will be for you. He's a vampire in modern times. Check it out. Up next, we got In Darkness, which I've never even heard of. Blind pianist Sophia overhears a struggle in the apartment above hers and leads to the death of her neighbor Veronica. It is the start of a journey that pulls Sophia out of her depth and brings her into contact with Veronica's father, a Serbian businessman accused of being a war criminal. Sophia is drawn into a dangerous world of corruption, investigating police, hitmen, and Russian mafia, a world with links to Sophia's own hidden past and path of revenge she has kept hidden until now. No clue. Picked it up for $1 at the 99-cent store. Up next, we got John Wick 3 Parabellum. We just rewatched this again, and man, this has some pretty insane action in it. It's not as good as the first one, of course. That's always going to be the best, but I think this is a damn good entertainment film, and I can't wait to see what they're going to be doing with the fourth film in 2021, and they're doing a TV show as well, I think in 21 or 22. So I don't know, but we picked this up on 4K for like $8. We couldn't pass that up, so we just had to get it. So I have part 2 in 4K. I do not have the first one in 4K, but I definitely want to have these all in 4K because they look beautiful. Up next, Grave Encounters 2. Now, we did an episode on this in the past here. Patrick came back to do an episode with me, and we did Grave Encounters 1 and Grave Encounters 2, and to our surprise, which we'd never seen these movies, I think I tried to start the first one a couple of times, and the guy's overacting was like kind of bothersome, but I didn't realize at the time it was intentional. They were definitely trying to do a Ghost Adventures thing. That's pretty much known. But to my surprise, I actually enjoyed the second one, which a lot of people don't like. The first one is the scary one, so to speak, which I will agree with. This one has a better story, I think, and it kind of reminds me at times of just fragments of Evil Dead and stuff, banging a hole in the wall and then opening up the hole and climbing through and then falling through the ceiling of the basement, dimensional stuff like that. And I thought that was pretty cool. I still need to get the first one, but I got this for $7 on Amazon. I said, hey, I'm going to pick it up now because that's pretty cheap. If you still see it on there for $7, I'd pick it up too. If you're a fan of found footage films, definitely watch the first one before you get this though. So maybe you guys saw Last Haul, but I got a movie called Scalps, and that movie was directed by Fred Olen Ray. Not a great movie, by the way. Wasn't too happy with it, but doesn't mean that his other movies weren't any good. And I'm always looking for films that I can sort of laugh at, just like have pizza and beer and jokes with my girlfriend and I or friends. But I picked up Alienator. Shout Factory, Scream Factory was having their, oh, we're not going to print these anymore. These are going out of print. We're not going to keep our licenses for them. So you might want to pick these up. So I did. And I picked up Alienator for, I think, $10. It was on sale. And this one, I have no idea. It just says an android hunter from outer space is about to create hell on Earth. You can imagine that this looks like a so bad it's good film just from the cover alone. I'm hoping for the best and hoping that it's going to be a good one, but I am looking to check this out.
Shit has hit the fan. Let's roll.
No.
Up next, we got Death Wish 2, which was also part of Shout Factory, Scream Factory, this is probably one of the best ones in the franchise. This is a little bit on the rapey side, but it is part of the plot of the story that this guy's family keeps getting kidnapped and he goes out on a vengeful murder spree to kill these criminals, and it is some of the more violent and crazy shit that you will see. It does have some kind of problematic areas that you might not want to see, but I still think Death Wish 2, I watched this years ago, and I just like it because it is insane action, gore, everything. Charles Bronson is a fucking crazy motherfucker. But I picked this up, I think, for $10. I'm not 100% sure because I lost the slip. Either way, if you haven't seen this movie and you like action films and you can kind of stomach some of the bad stuff. You see something pretty horrific and then it kind of drives you to let this guy go on a murder spree. So this is a pretty interesting vigilante sort of movie. If you haven't seen him, I think some people say the first 2 or 3 are the best, but they went all the way up to like 5, I think. But check it out. That was the special edition too, so I don't know what other versions are out there, but that is the Scream Factory version or Shout Factory one. Up next, we got Ninja 3, The Domination. Now, you want to talk about a fucking batshit crazy fucking movie. Now, the Ninja movies, the Ninja series was an interesting one. It's an 80s, in the 80s, we loved watching ninja movies for some reason. It just hit America like a storm. And even as a kid, I just loved ninjas. Ninjas. I had to have ninjas everywhere. Some of my favorite, G.I. Joes were fucking ninjas. It was Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes. So this is one of those movies that kind of came out around that time when I was a kid that was just, I remember my father owning this. I remember popping it on. I think it was even on beta. I can't remember. My father had a beta machine, Betamax, all that other stuff. But we watched this and man, this is some crazy shit. A woman gets possessed by a spirit of a ninja. He escaped something in the past or something like that. And this is awesome. Like, there's some really great scenes in it. You will look at this and think, oh, this is like an 80s music video kind of movie. And it totally is. It's shot so fucking crazy. Directed by Sam Furstenberg, which I don't remember what he did. Plus, this has Christy Ryder, who was in Breakin' and Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo, which are also kind of crazy movies. I think you should check this out if you've never seen this and you like ninja action movies and things like that. This is a great one. This is one of my favorite ones that I saw in the series. They're all kind of fun to watch anyway, but this one is the batshit crazy one. This is the Dream Warriors of the Ninja series franchise in weird what the fuck. So I finally got to pick this up, and I'm glad I got it finally, the collector's edition. And I think we got this for $10, $10 or $15 on the Scream Factory sale.
Possesses the body of an innocent woman and transforms her into a lethal assassin.
Could have had a V8.
Up next, we got Hell Comes to Frogtown. Now, this is a Vinegar Syndrome release. I wasn't able to get the slipcover for this because they don't actually sell it anymore. It was really cool. It was like one of those ones where you slip off the top. But this is a Rowdy Piper fucking movie, which if you've seen the movie They Live, you know that Rowdy Piper is kind of a big star in the horror scene in a lot of regards with that movie alone. But he also did this other movie called Hell Comes to Frogtown, where he is kind of like a boy and his dog, which was with Don Johnson. It's in the future, and like in order to procreate, they like put him up to a milking machine. And so this is kind of like that, but like frogs have kind of taken over, and in order to keep the human gene alive, he's one of the last humans that can provide semen that will cause people to actually have babies. So he is out there fighting frogs and this frog empire, and it is silly, weird, and I haven't seen it in years, so I can't really say more than that. Pretty insane, and it is definitely one of those movies that I saw in like Cinemax or something like that years ago. But yeah, I don't know. If you haven't seen it, definitely recommend it. I think it's up on one of the streaming services. If not, you can always pick up a copy from Vinegar Syndrome. I think I got this one for $13 or something like that. They had a mid-year sale. Picked it up.
Move over, Mr. Mel Gibson and Mr. Robert De Niro. Here comes acting talent and sensitivity like you've never seen.
You are one weird dude.
Up next, these next two movies are ones that we actually have an episode of the podcast of these movies up right now that we did reviews for, and that is Blood Beat. They also have the reversible covers here and the DVD in this. I'm not going to say too much about it, but I will say that it is about a killer samurai, insanely bizarre. We talked about it this week. Highly recommend you guys check out the episode with Blood Beat and Night Train to Terror, which this is another one that is bizarre and crazy. I'll show you some of the inside. Of course, this is the cover that they have for it. This doesn't have a reversible or anything, but it does come with the DVD and the Blu-ray copy. This one is about God and the devil riding a train, talking about people's souls and whether or not they deserve to go to hell or heaven. And it's an anthology, and there's a really crazy story on why they made this, and we talk about it in this week's episode. Check it out. Listen to that episode. You can listen to it on here on YouTube, or go to Long Live the Void and check out Beyond the Void Horror Podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts as well. Up next, Spookies. Now, I'm pretty sure we did this movie in the past. It's been a while, but I'm going to probably redo this on the episode because we love to do 80s movies on the podcast, or at least I do, and I subject my girlfriend to it all the time, which she sometimes loves and hates, but she's kind of grown as a horror movie watcher because of me forcing her to watch all these movies over the years, because there's no one else to watch them with, and we're in lockdown. So this is one of those movies that has a lot of creature effects and practical creature effects. I haven't seen it in a while. I don't know too much about this anymore, other than it's like a group of travelers find themselves stranded in a remote part of New England after taking shelter in a spooky old mansion complete with a graveyard. They discover a Ouija board and decide to spend the night attempting to summon spirits, which always, leads to pretty benign, innocuous things that would happen in the house, of course. And it's not long before they're head to head with all sorts of demonic creatures, shapeshifters, and other forms of evil, all of whom are more than happy to pick them off in the most gruesome ways. I remember it being fairly decent. I like creature effects in movies, always have. And that's one of these movies that, you know, I wasn't like eager to get when it first came out with a really cool slipcover with Vinegar Syndrome. I picked this up for like $13, I think, on their midway sale, as well as those other ones I just mentioned. This is one I think you should check out. You may have mixed results on whether or not you love it or not, but it's still, I think, worth a watch. And you might even be able to watch it on like Amazon Prime or something like that too. But I had to have a copy. I'm a physical media guy, as you can tell. Check it out if you can. Now, this is one that I picked up that I have not seen, I don't think. Although watching the trailer, there is one scene in particular that really kind of makes me remember it in some regard. And I don't know if it's just because I've seen the trailer before or the movie, but this is called Flesh Eating Mothers. And I haven't seen it yet, and I want to watch it on the podcast for sure, because I like to do a deep dive on these movies. But you can see the cover here. It's got like a kid in a fucking frying pan with like a honey dripping into it. And it says, "They bit off more than they could chew." Classy. Anyway, so this is the cover for it, which is pretty cool. Arm coming out. I don't know if you could see it kind of. There you go. With a baseball on the back. It's got a bunch of extra features and stuff on it. It's a 2K scan, brand new commentary track with the director, bunch of extras on here, which is pretty cool. I am eager to watch this one. It looks like it has some creature effects in it, where mothers are rabid and eat their children and attack people. And it's kind of like they're zombies in a way, but like smart zombies or something. I'm looking forward to this. We'll be watching this soon, hopefully on the podcast, so stay tuned. Any of these movies that you see, by the way, guys, let us know if you'd like to see an episode on it for the podcast, because typically I do old movies, especially on the podcast, sometimes new, so just let us know.
Mothers are eating their children.
And sends the housewives into a flesh-eating frenzy.
Up next, we got Extra 3. I've seen all three of these, and I remember liking the first two the most. It's all by the same director, Harry Bromley Davenport's. The first movie, which I had a copy given to me, I love. I love that movie. It's just fucking weird and obscure and just gross and creature effects. This has aliens in it, but it's like every single one of these movies is like a different movie than the one before it. And the second one I remember being a little bit more closely related to the first one, but not really. It's just like another alien story of some sort. The third one, I remember not really having much of an alien, but still want to have it for my collection. So I picked it up from Vinegar Syndrome. I believe this is one that I got for like $20 or something like that with the cover, maybe less, but you can see the back there, it says "Watch the Skies." Pretty nice little case. Then you got the sort of original cover. There was so many different covers that they did for around the world for Extra 3 and all the other ones as well. This one has a more of a military presence, and yeah, again, I don't think this is the best one of the three, but I still wanted to have it for my collection for the trilogy so we can review it. We got one last one I got that was a gift sent to me by Plemke, who also sent me the first Extra. He sent me this. It's called Mystics in Bali, and holy fucking shit, this is seriously, it even says on the front, some of the most bizarre supernatural horror elements I have ever seen in a motion picture, and boy are they. As I recall, the creature that's in this movie, if you can see, there's a woman with her entrails, okay? This is a floating head called a pegmali that sucks on the necks of virgins and eats the fetuses out of women's hoo-hoos to eat their babies. And it's a folklore in Indonesia, I think. I can't remember exactly where it is, but yeah, Indonesia, 1981. Insane fucking movie. We watched this with another movie, and I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but if you're looking for weird Indonesian, like crazy floating heads with guts floating around, kind of weird, this is one of them. This isn't my favorite of those kind of films, but it is definitely a bizarre one to have, and if you're anything like me and you like weird shit that you've never seen before, this is one to watch. Thank you very much, Plemke, for picking this up for me. We did do a review of it, so I'll try to provide a link down below for you guys to check it out. He picked up the DVD copy from Mondo Macabra, so thank you very much. I'm really glad to add this to my collection, man. Oh, and I just thought of the other movie that we paired it with. It was The Boxer's Omen, which is another fucking mind fuck of a movie. That is some of the most bizarre creative shit I've ever seen in a movie. So if you can pick that one up too, highly recommend it. It's very rare, and every now and then it pops up on DVD in the shittiest quality. It's one of those movies that really deserves to get a Blu-ray or 4K treatment to save that movie from just obscurity. And it's yeah, both of those movies are worth a watch. You will never forget them. Let's put it that way. But yeah, guys, that's it. That's everything that we got this month. We do have a few more that came in a little bit on the tail end, but I'm saving that. Going to put into my July haul, so we'll be talking about that. So definitely stay tuned for that. I hope you enjoy these videos. I really enjoy talking about them. Thank you so much for coming by and supporting this channel. We've been getting a lot of subscribers, and that really means a lot to me because I put a lot of time and effort into this. But if you do like that kind of stuff, we do it on the podcast currently, so I would highly recommend you check that out. Thank you so much for stopping by and spending your time here with me, and as always, long live the void.